Someone said there was a dev thingy here. Oh, here you go. Let's see. Let's read some dev stuff. Wait. Behind certain legends just saying the meta, it seems like there's a trend of always having wonders that feels like the hard meta for way too long. No set time. I think it depends on the specific meta and how well it's being received. Give you meta, for example, that's one that's stuck upon for all because we deemed it healthier than caustic meta. What? Caustic was literally played with Gibby, wasn't at one point. Bubble fights were super engaging and interesting. Okay, J-Beebs. Recent change of beacon spawn rates makes things better than they were before. It's not perfect. A Kirk in this system was... Okay, I think this is fair. This is a fair statement. Yeah, the beacon scan loss was definitely a hit, but Valk has more advantages with her ult than the evac tower. You can deploy from cover. You can literally deploy an evac in cover. Take her team with you, and evac can do the same. Plus, there's no giant tell for other teams to focus down and splitting the team in transit. This guy doesn't even understand that an evac is like way safer to do than a Valk ult. Like every single way. Evac, you're exposed on the Zipp before takeoff, so is a Valk ult. You can get shot on the Valk ult just like you can on the evac tower. The only advantage that Valk ult has is two things, like probably like just the RNG of having it because it's an ability, right? Compared to an item that you have to find. And fucking like a height difference. Like I don't see any other like benefit of it. Yeah, but scan info is scan info was like always like a skill issue thing. Like you didn't actually need a scan. You just needed to use your fucking eyeballs. But oh, Zach Mazer with the ranked question. You know what's funny? I probably said this already on stream. Like me and Zach like playtested the class system or whatever before, and we thought the class like skirmisher and like assault were too underpowered, and like my like idea of it was like for assault, because majority of those characters like you're always like playing aggressive, right? Like assault, there should be a way to like regain your ultimate. Like let's say like you basically have an ult excel as an assault character, but that's only you only get like an ult excel by killing other players, if that makes sense, as an assault character. Obviously there has got to be like, I don't know the exact details like of how you would do it exactly, but like something that along the lines like assault character would have to actually get the kill, and each kill or like each team wipe would be a certain amount of percentage back to your ultimate, instead of like this like stupid bin shit. Like that was like my idea instead of like the bin thing. Like obviously it can obviously be really broken because having your ultimate in every single fight is like crazy, but obviously you can like tune. I feel like it's easily tunable with numbers. Like you can like make it seem, you can make it as so like you have to team wipe a team. You can't, basically you wouldn't get your ultimate percentage back just off a kill. You would have to get like a whole team wipe, no matter if it's solo or duo, and you would get a certain amount of percentage, right? So it wouldn't be like crazy broken. And or it's not like, and it might, you know, still I think it would be fine too to just make it, you know, an alt excel like same equivalent. And I also, for this is probably a hot take too, like for the skirmisher class, I proposed the idea that they should add like base extra movement speed to those characters only. So like characters like, you know, Octane, Wraith, Pathfinder, Valkyrie. I don't know what else is skirmisher, but I don't know how broken that would create the game. I feel like a base like extra movement speed to those characters would make it interesting. Like as a passive. You leave your team behind though? Well, it depends on what you're playing. Like if you're playing Octane Pathfinder or like Valk, you can always bring your team with you, right? They definitely need to change the skirmisher. Like skirmisher obviously got buffed because they introduced 100% spawn rate of guns and packages, but I still think like that passive is just absolutely fucking like trash compared to like other classes, and it needs to be like extremely buffed somehow. Generally, we don't need huge boosts for a class that has already a lot of power both in and out of count. It's a skirmisher perk. What? Like, the probably second to worst fucking perk right now. Changes reason start point, and then it just expands to nerf and double beacons are landing on when the asset design team wanted the expected bean to become longer as viable by removing the armory from it. We currently don't try to dictate to players what the best landing locations are. I don't even understand like what this means. Well, it doesn't make. We currently don't try to dictate to players what the best land locations are and design around those. Like the sentence doesn't even make sense to me, like at all. How would you even dictate that to players? And how, like, what is designing around it? I don't get it. I don't understand. Unofficial landing locations, it's sometimes named. Yeah, but they literally do that. Respawn literally What do you even mean that they don't dictate the fucking best landing locations when they just introduce fucking pylon, like absolutely busted for fucking loot? Yeah, they didn't just like, introduce lightning rod with 2 beacons, 2 crafters, or pylon with literally up to fucking ass loot. I don't think there's been a single like new POI on any map that's been actually dog shit. Like, has there been a new edition of a POI that's like been bad? I guess like Jurassic. Like the new Jurassic is better, but it's not crazy. Landslide? I guess, yeah. Landslide was worse. It's amazing we dismiss any ideas around adding a digi threat to AR optics. As it stands now, at least you have to be up close and involved in the fight before taking damage to smoke from an SMG. Getting sprayed for 150 meters from a digi. Yeah. I could generally get a sense if Bang has a digi based on their smoking habits. Bro, Jay. If I can't dictate if a Bangalore has a digi until I get shot in the face, there's no way you can dictate that. What is this man talking about right now? I could get a sense if Bang has a digi based on their smoking habits. Yeah, like as if Bang has never smoked you off so they could rotate and not shoot you in the face. They smoke you versus if they smoke themselves. Furia, thanks for 5 months. Even if he has like some of a point of where he thinks he can assume if a team has a digi just because. Like, I understand that if someone's, like, if Bangalore's close to you and they're smoking you off, that can mean a lot of things, though. Like, let's say you're playing a head glitch, right? And they're trying to walk up on you and they smoked you off. Does that just mean that they have a digi? Or is that just because they were trying to push up and kill you because you're on a heady and they can't push you without a smoke? It also doesn't change the fact, like, how broken, like, how much space control or area control can happen with fucking Bang and digi when you don't have one. Well, I'm saying, like, well, I don't know, like, obviously this is, like, a text, so, like, I might be interpreting it wrong, but, like, if devs are misinterpreting how crazy Digi is with a Bangalore, like, that could be a problem, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I guess they're looking at it, but... Wait, does that happen? Remember, what was that guy's fucking name? There was an old dev that, like, buffed Caustic a while ago, and then, like, I fucking, like, had an altercation with him on Twitter. I forgot his name, and he was a dev, but he got fired for whatever reason, but... I remember his name, but he like buffed Caustic because he tweeted out Klein, Daniel Z. Klein, yeah. He like tweeted out that he said something about like how he was testing Caustic in a building and how he thought he wasn't strong enough because he was whatever. I don't remember what he said exactly, but he said something along the lines of like it took him less than 10 minutes to like figure out that Caustic wasn't good, so they buffed him when he was like already mega broken at the time. And that's just like an example of a dev that understands, like, I feel like that in my head, I feel like if devs can understand how to create a game, but if they don't actually understand the game itself, like let's say understanding how good Caustic actually is or how good just anything in the game, then like nothing matters, you know? Like I feel like if you don't have that grasp of understanding what's good and what's not in the game, especially like Bang Digi or fucking old Seer. I don't know, this is not good. I can imagine a scenario where, you know, like the Apex comp scene that thinks that Digi and Bang is broken, but then the devs think it's completely fine because they just don't, I guess, like understand or like have a lack of understanding of like the item and the character or like playing it. Bang Digi is now in meta because Seer got nerfed. Like, so basically how Apex comp meta is, like how it works is you basically find the most 2 broken characters that are like aggressive, and then you have one that's typically your character that can hit the beacon, but obviously is not useless like fucking Rampart or whatever, right? And you also pick characters based off of like, you know, what can counter another character, blah 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 blah, like a bunch of shit to it. But basically like Bang is only played right now because every other character just sucks ass compared to her, since everything else got nerfed. Like Seer got hard nerfed, right? So then Bang took his place. So that's basically just how it works. Like Revenant is just not good because one, like the character is just like a huge hitbox. It's a very individual character that doesn't benefit the actual team in comp compared to Bangalore. But Wraith is just, again, like an individual character. Portal's not really needed and also just useful and like because of the length of it. But everything is just like way worse than Bang. So like Bang, obviously people always say this shit where, oh yeah, Bang was in the game for this long. Like, you know, like how Shiv says, like it's funny. Like Shiv says, oh, Bang was in this game for this long, and you guys want to nerf him now, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, and she just like doesn't understand. Like, yeah, why would I play Bangalore when I could play fucking Seer and spam abilities? Like the Bangalore is not a problem until the whole fucking lobby plays her, and then Digi, you created a character that is enabled by an item, and that just like creates so much RNG that is like just insane. Like imagine like when Seer was completely broken, right? And there was somehow just like an item in the game that you had to pick up so your ultimate could work. Like that would be stupid. Like even though let's say the Q is also busted, right? Like old Q, and you would only be able to use your ultimate off if you had an item in your inventory that you had to pick up. That would be fucking dumb. And that's just kind of like how Bangalore works. You can't really use your smokes aggressively without an item. And if you don't have that item when the other team does, you're just like in a severe disadvantage, which is the issue. And like you can't play. No, Bloodhound is just terrible. Bloodhound doesn't really Bloodhound is not good enough to counter Bangalore. Like, what are you gonna do? Fucking 1v3 as Bloodhound just because you can see through the smoke and your teammates can't do anything? Like, Bloodhound is not good enough for like the scans are too short, or the scans don't last long enough, and they don't come up fast enough. Like your scan timer is just terrible. And you're gonna be like, let's just imagine your team has no digis. You're the only Bloodhound on your team because obviously you can only have one Bloodhound, and the other team has at least even if that team only has one digi on the enemy team, you're just gonna get 1v3 because your two teammates are just gonna most likely just run away because they can't fucking help you since you're trying to fight a smoke and they can't, but you can. So it doesn't do anything. It just doesn't matter. They would have to buff Bloodhound. They would have to buff Bloodhound a lot, like make his scans more. They have to come out faster. They have to last longer, but they're not gonna do that. But they like I said, they could do like there's so many. Basically, there's like different ways of kind of getting Bang. Like I don't really care to play Bang. It's whatever. You know, I've played through so many different metas, and it is what it is at this point. But I do still agree to the point where that Bang Digi meta is just like the worst meta in the game, just based off of because it's enabled by a fucking item that's like a complete RNG and it's a gold. You know, gold item. Like they can make Digi's more common instead of it making a gold item, make it more common, like make it a purple or something. They could buff another character that just overshadows Bangalore. You don't even have to touch Bangalore, you just buff somebody else and it will just take Bang's place. I don't know. I rather like them not remove Digi because that'll just make the game even worse if they did that. Like it'd be absolutely, I would hate the game if they did that. I'd rather just have they just have to make it so either everyone has a higher chance of getting the Digi because it wouldn't be a gold item anymore, or you just buff another character that would take her place. I don't really care what the meta would be for comp. I'd rather not it come down to RNG of an item to like play the game. If that makes sense. I hate like you know the very first game of Finals of Champs when we ran into Optic because they had 4 Digis. 4 fucking digis in the first zone. 4 digis. They didn't even kill anybody. They just looted their stacks in Big Mod. And they got 4 digis the first game of fucking champs. And they're just pushing us through a tunnel. And then it's literally impossible to fucking fight them. Because they just bang smoke and kill me. Like, and that's just what pisses me off. Like, I should not be playing a game where it's based off of a fucking item whether or not I could shoot my gun at somebody or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking stupid. Geek Gecko is 48 months. It's been in the game since release, yeah, but Bang has not been meta since release because other characters have been more... Scare the shit out of me.
I have a meeting, so don't open my door.
Okay. I was gonna say... But yeah, Bang and Digi has been in the game since the beginning, and it's only been not a problem until now because she's never been meta since everybody was better than her, basically, like buffed. What if they made it so Digi would only see characters who are shooting their gun? What the fuck is the point of that? Nobody would shoot their gun. I can't see through the smoke, so why would I even shoot in the first place? It doesn't make sense. I don't know if putting Digi in the crafter permanently would do anything either, because that would also just create RNG. Of like, are you gonna get a crafter or not? Because crafters are not guaranteed either. I think it will definitely improve it a bit. It would improve it, but they would also like probably kill zone play because you would just like get loot gapped with digis so like really hard against edge teams. No, they should not remove the digis. It would be so brain dead. Let's see what else. It also just seems like that the devs always look at characters by themselves, if that makes sense. Like every response, it seems like when they Maybe I'm wrong, but they don't really compare characters that other characters that are in their class. They just look at it like Valk by herself, not compared to all the other characters that exist. Well, I would hope that it do compare characters to each other, but every response that I've seen has been like just talking about the character itself, not what it compares to other characters. Like they talked about Ash, they talked about Valk, and they just kind of talked about like what they do, and not more so like how much weaker he or she is fucking compared to somebody else. It's preferable for players to feel like they got outplayed by their opponent and not that they simply died to a tactical. Yeah, you could say the exact same with a Digi-threat. I prefer players to get outplayed and not just die to a fucking item. Yeah. Tons of people die to turbo, but I could still kill a player with turbo charger. I cannot kill a player with a Digi. Unless they're brain dead. Like turbos, they also nerf turbo. They nerf turbo by 1 damage. Burst weapons are better than like the turbo weapons that have been in the game right now. Like Hemlock is better than fucking Havoc turbocharger. Same with Devo. Wait, it's normal now? Well, not anymore? Oh well, see? I don't even read the patch notes, I didn't even know that. So I think Hemlock is better than Havoc with turbo. Oh, did you in care package only? No, that would still be brain dead. See right here, new legends need to carve out their own play space to the best of their ability, and if they can't, they risk falling into obscurity or overshadowing the legends who have come before. Yeah, but isn't that like something that's going to happen literally no matter what? If the new legend's bad, then the old characters are gonna overshadow. Like, why does it matter? That's gonna happen literally anyway. Crypto and Rampart have some unique strengths that we wouldn't want to completely compromise. Yep. We're shifting more towards a hero shooter in high school bands, but I think it's somewhat inevitable and just a natural evolution. Okay, I can agree with that. I think it will always be a competitive FPS first, the high TTK and rich gunplay movement systems, but given a strong mastery of those core elements, top teams will be the ones with the most proficient legends. You drop in are the constants in the sea of ever shifting variables for people that solve the equation quickly. It makes sense to just choose the best constants given the season. Now this is a good response right here. Can attest, I literally started every balance meeting with, they're still using Bloodhound Overseer. I don't know why. He should be busted in comp. We absolute theories should try to predict how the meta will shift, and I can remember the last time someone thing has flown completely on the radar. We definitely underestimate things though. Okay. Now, this is when Seer was busted the entire time and nobody was playing him. You know that you do not like rats and think everyone should play the game as intended. Have you thought about shutting off crafters that are in Storm completely or putting a timer on them? Later data found those numbers were high enough to warrant removing it entirely. The valid case, there is people respawning teammates at edge of ring. I definitely think they should do this actually. Oh, should they? I just know like there'll be one time, well, it's kind of rare though. I feel like it only happens really in ranked where you like run the zone and craft, but they use, like imagine you like run in the zone to craft your teammates and then you just die because you can't like craft mech hits, right? So like I feel like that's like the only downside to that, shutting off crafters in the gas. I feel like it's a good idea, but I don't know how they don't have enough data that people are sitting in the gas when people were doing that shit, like sitting in the gas crafting mech hits like almost every other game of mine in ranked. Like how the fuck was there not enough data for that? Oh yeah, I don't think it only happens in super high. You know why it only happens in super high pred lobbies? Because all the fucks that do it get to there. It's literally like a foolproof fucking way of getting to high pred lobbies. Like it's literally, that's why it's always happening in the high pred. Like you don't see a fucking bronze player sitting in the gas crafting mech hits because he'd be in fucking pred by then, doing that. Oh yeah, you literally have like almost top 10 predators just sitting in the gas. I don't know. It's just like that. This whole like sitting in the gas thing is like a problem that's obviously small right now, but until like you have majority of the player base doing it, then it's like then it'll be an even bigger problem, right? Like you might as well just fix it now until it gets worse, type of thing, you know? And why would you even like? I feel like even as a developer, why the fuck would you even encourage gameplay like that? That's not even, you're not even playing Apex at that point if you're doing shit like sitting in the gas crafting mech hits. Like what do you? It's not even playing the game. Like that should not be encouraged as a way of play in the game. It's stupid. Like there's a reason, like I just actually thought about this. Like there's a reason why the gas exists. Like imagine if the gas didn't exist on a BR, everyone would just hide the entire game. And nobody wants to play that. Nobody wants to watch that shit. It's the same thing with the gas. Like the gas is meant to make you push into each other and fight each other, right? until the last fucker alive. And right now, that's not happening in ranked because of fucking heat shields. Like, that's all. This whole sitting in a zone is literally the complete opposite of the basis of a BR. Like, completely opposite. Honestly, just make heat shields like a good fucking a gold item. Like heat shields a gold item. That'd be funny. Imagine they start making all the survival items like different verities. No, it's not verities. Different tiers of loot. Like let's say they make Mobies like purple, and then they start making evac towers gold instead of making it. I think that's probably be really brain dead, but maybe that would actually work. Like let's say you just get rid of the heat shield as a survival item, because I'm assuming survival items have their own spawn rate. It's like separate from the actual loot pool, and like they should just make it like heat shield like a gold item. Yeah, please, Apex, please do not, please for the love of God, do not make evac towers gold items. Please, holy shit. That would be literally like the worst thing that you could do. If you really think about it, I think it's almost impossible to create a game where everything is somehow usable in their own way, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like anything that evolves or revolves around a character or a gun, there's always going to be a gun that people are going to use just because it's better, and it's literally impossible. Like it's literally impossible to create like identical weapons without it being redundant, and the same thing with characters, to the point where balance is just like a never-ending circle, literally never-ending. Like there's always going to be a meta, there's always going to be a gun that's going to be better than another gun, there's always going to be a character that's going to be used more than the other characters. It's just a matter of when do you want to create or put guns in the meta.